All right, you want to answer the poll question, McLovin? Give it to Mannix.
Okay, if you had to lose one, who would you want to keep if you're the Warriors, Kevin Durant or Draymond Green?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. It's Kevin Durant. You know, I think there's going. I wrote a little bit about this today. You know, there's going to be some questions internally in Golden State about how much you pay Draymond Green in 2020. I mean, he's going to be looking for that max level payday, but I believe he's going to be 30 when that contract comes up, and he doesn't have the type of game that I think will age, and other people think really will age particularly well. I mean, he's a bit undersized for his position, and he doesn't have a strong perimeter game. So you throw those two things in, and do you really want to give a player like that, as great as Draymond has been defensively for that team, a 5-year deal that could come, you know, in the radius of $200 million? I mean, I think it's a no-brainer that Kevin Durant's the guy you invest in.
I'm shocked that they suspended Draymond Green for a game, but are there any more details aside from what he was saying to Durant or what he called him that would warrant a one-game suspension, a public humiliation?
You know, I've asked around, and the sense that I get is the language and the tone of it. It wasn't that there was a confrontation in the locker room. You probably talked about this, but a couple of years ago when he and Steve Kerr went at it in the locker room, I mean, that if that doesn't warrant a suspension, kind of going after your coach and having to be separated physically, I mean, I don't know what is, but I think it was the language and the tone that he used. You know, I know that Draymond's a fiery guy, but I do put a lot of this on Draymond Green because, you know, look, he made a mistake in that moment in the game. I mean, it was a clear mistake. He should have handed the ball to Durant in that moment. Instead, you know, it almost reminded me of that scene in Fresh Prince where, you know, Carlton throws the ball at the rim, you know, not passing the ball to Will Smith at the end of a game. But he should have given the ball to Durant in that moment. And if he had just walked away from that and kind of tapped his chest, said, "My bad," it would have diffused the whole thing. Instead, he got really defensive. Now, that in and of itself didn't warrant a suspension, but the language he used, from what I was told, is what brought it to that level.
Okay, but if you're Kevin Durant, if Draymond Green has a problem with Kevin Durant, that, you know what, you're making this season all about you and free agency next year, why would you want to continue to play with Draymond Green if he acts this way? So I don't understand. He recruited Kevin Durant, but what he's saying and how he acts to Kevin Durant, that's not going to lead Kevin Durant to going, you know what, on second thought, maybe I'll take less and stay with Golden State.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I don't know that Kevin Durant is thinking that far ahead right now. I think Kevin Durant is looking at this season and how he can best win, and Draymond Green is how he can best win. And look, these two, if you go back, there's YouTube clips everywhere. They have had some, you know, very visible on-court spats about where a guy's supposed to be and, you know, offense, defense stuff. So this is an elevated version of what they've gone through, but it's not the first time they've kind of gone through all this stuff. So I think they'll be able to put it past them. And ultimately, Dan, I'm not sure that Draymond Green and KD's feelings about him is going to be the most influential thing or even a influential thing in his decision this summer. I think there's going to be a lot of variables for him, including some off-the-court things he probably wants to get into.
Yeah, but I get the feeling that he's gone from Golden State.
I do too. No, I wrote this today, and you know there are, you know, when you talk about big free agents over the last 5 or 6 years, whether it's LeBron at different points or others, there's always some ambiguity amongst NBA types. Like, well, I don't know. I mean, he could stay in Cleveland, he could go stay in Miami. You know, other guys, they could go here or there. There are more people that speak with absolute certainty about Kevin Durant leaving Golden State than I've ever seen before. I mean, guys that I talk to regularly that you know, kind of like to speculate about this stuff, and some of it is informed speculation, but they say with absolute certainty, no chance that Kevin Durant comes back there. So it's surprising that that's the attitude across the league.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.